This will defend.
Fly Army.
Above the best.
You're welcome to clap and cheer all you want for your graduate. This is a celebration. After the ceremony, everyone is invited to explore the Aviation Museum and take as many photos as you like. Finally, we are proud to offer a live stream of this graduation ceremony on USACE's YouTube channel. The QR code that links to the site is found on the last page of the program, as well as on the monitors next to this stage. We will begin the ceremony momentarily, once the live stream has started. Thank you. Good morning, graduates, family members, and guests. On behalf of Major General Michael McCurry, Commanding General, United States Army Aviation Center of Excellence in Fort Novosel, welcome to the graduation ceremony for flight school. Would everyone please stand for the invocation and the playing of the national anthem?
Almighty God and Father, source of all wisdom and understanding, we are so very thankful for all that you teach us each and every day. We are especially thankful for all that you have taught these men and women in their time of learning, the laughter, the camaraderie, the testing of their abilities. These are gifts for which we are so very thankful. Today we want to pause in our headlong rush of life and give you thanks for this time to come together and honor and graduate those who have worked so hard for this day. As we give recognition to these newest Army aviators, we ask for a special touch of your blessings on them today and help them to have a strong sense of a job well done. May your spirit of remembrance rest on them so this pinnacle time may return to them in times of stress and hardship and give them strength to continue on their journey. Their time here is ending, and they are each heading out to the places that you have called them to serve. So we ask that as you fly with them on their designated missions, that you give them wisdom to weather life's storms, strength to be men and women of integrity, and compassion to be leaders in a way that is redemptive and capable. Your strength enables us to protect others. Your providence keeps us safe. Help us to turn our hearts towards you each and every day. I ask this in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. Gentlemen, please remove your headdresses. Thank you. You may be seated. Please welcome Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Menn, Commander of 1st Battalion, 223rd Aviation Regiment, who is standing in for Lieutenant Colonel Price this morning.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to today's graduation ceremony, and I think we have amongst the family members a member of almost every other service joining us today, so it's good to see you all here. Family members, friends, instructors, thank you for your support in commemorating this tremendous occasion. We are delighted you can celebrate with us this morning. Attending the ceremony, representing the United States Army Aviation Center of Excellence are Colonel Jason Woodward, 1st Aviation Brigade Commander, Colonel Christopher Logsdon, Deputy Commandant for the Army National Guard and Senior Guard Advisor, Colonel Mary Elizabeth Scott, Deputy Assistant Commandant for the United States Army Reserve, Lieutenant Colonel Mark Axtell, 1st of the 145th Aviation Regiment Commander, Chief Warrant Officer 5 Ed Carman, Senior Guard Advisor to the Deputy Commanding General of the Army National Guard, Command Sergeant Major John Bonilla, 1st Aviation Brigade, Sergeant Major Julian Adams, 1st of the 145th Aviation Regiment. Please also welcome Colonel Danny Young, United States Army retired, Chief Warrant Officer 5 Stephen Davidson, United States Army retired and Army Aviation Hall of Fame member. Command Master Chief Mario Romero, United States Navy retired. Thank you for joining us. To our newest Army aviators, congratulations on achieving a significant milestone. In just a few minutes, your flight school journey will come to an end as your friends and family pin the wings you've worked so hard to achieve on your chest. I hope they will always remind you of the professional aviators who trained you, the special community you now represent, and the sacred duty we have to support the ground force. The ground force is depending on you to get them where they need to be, when they need to be there, or to protect them from the enemy. And when you find yourself on the receiving end of a desperate plea for help, I know you'll respond, moving heaven and earth to help the men and women on the ground, because that's why Army Aviation is all about. We exist to support the ground force. I'm proud of you and eager to see each of you realize your full potential as Army aviators. Before I introduce our guest speaker, I would like to quickly reiterate the process for pinning our aviators. Your aviator will be called forward, cross the stage, and then stand before the stage to await their family, friends, spouses, or children to come up and pin on their wings. The Master of Ceremony will cue you by saying, "Please come forward to pin your aviator." At that time, please come forward and pin the wings on your aviator. Take a moment to celebrate this momentous occasion before returning to your seats. The stage will be available after graduation for you to take as many additional photographs as you would like. This is a defining moment in all of your lives and one you will never forget. Congratulations to all of you. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce the guest speaker for today's graduation ceremony. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Bill McLean, is a master aviator with more than 20 years of military service. Inspired by his Vietnam veteran father and the events that occurred on 9/11, he joined the Army in 2004 and was selected for flight school. He is rated in the OH-58 Alpha and Charlie Kiowa and the UH-60 Alpha, Lima, and Mike Black Hawk helicopters. During his time in the Army, he has received numerous awards and decorations for his service and served in a number of key positions throughout his career, including Air Mission Commander, Instructor Pilot, United States Army Aviation Center of Excellence G3 Command Aviation Pilot, and Company and Battalion Standardization Pilot. He currently serves as the Assault Branch Chief with the Director of Evaluation and Standardization here at Fort Novosel. Please join me in welcoming Chief Warrant Officer 5, Bill McLean.
Good morning, distinguished guests, family, friends, loved ones, fellow officers, and those about to pin on their Army aviation wings. It's been about 20 years now since I sat where you are, but it seems truly just like yesterday. With that said, I am getting a little older, a little grayer, and these are a new addition, so excuse me one second. I don't remember all of the details of flight school, but I do distinctly remember this day, graduation. I am a second-generation Army helicopter pilot. My dad flew both the aircraft to your left and your right in Vietnam in 1970 and 71. He was not a high-ranking officer. There were no books written about him. But much like you and I, he was someone who volunteered for service when his country needed him. I was proud and extremely humbled as he pinned his flight wings on my chest. Those wings have flown with me through 3 combat tours, every training mission, every flight, ever since. Today, you will stand here in the Army Aviation Museum and create your own long-lasting memory as your own wings are pinned upon your chest. You should be proud. Proud of all the hard work you have done. Proud of all the hard work you have done during your time in flight school, but still humble for what comes next. While I've said I don't remember many of the details of flight school, I do remember a few things. How can anyone forget SEER, your nickel rides, and of course aircraft selection. But also don't forget the long nights of studying, the family sacrifices, the hard work and dedication it took to try to earn your position on the OML so you could compete for the aircraft or the duty location of your preference. What I do remember most of all are the amazing people that I shared some of the most amazing times with doing some of the most amazing things. My work at the Directorate of Evaluation and Standardization sends me to units all around the world, and I still run into aviators that I went to flight school with. My stick buddy retired a few years ago, but our families still get together and talk about the old times. We talk about our solo day, the absolute feeling of confidence that we had taking off on that adventure, just the 2 of us, no IP, flying from Sheffield to Andalusia and back in an OH-58. Doors off, probably 40 hours between the total of us. What could go wrong, right? Well, things went wrong, and we joke quickly about the hubris we felt that was shattered as we quickly got lost and had to circle water towers to find out what town we were over, and that will usually humble a new pilot. We also talk about the times where we would pull on each other's seatbelts from the back to remind each other to do fuel checks on check ride day. I'm sure that probably still happens. These are memories we've always cherished as we watch our families expand and grow up over the years. Army Aviation is a very small community. You will undoubtedly see many of your classmates in your future operational units. As you begin your individual paths, you will meet new people with new stories and new experiences. But we all sat here in this very museum on a day like today and just wish the W5 would just stop talking. I promise I'm almost done. I'm excited for each and every one of you. When I look across this room, I see opportunity. Not only the opportunity to excel in your current field, but also the opportunity to fly, fight, and win for our nation's future. The world is currently an uncertain place. Some of you will be called to deploy in harm's way quicker than you may anticipate. The training you have received here is the foundation that you will build your warfighting skills on. It is not the end. You have earned the right, through difficult academic and flight evaluations, tough and challenging personal tests of your inner strength and resilience, to call yourself Army Aviators. It is a title that very few people have earned, and it comes with entry into a community that will always support you and your family. It's a special bond between generations that you might discover in a conversation with an old veteran at the YMCA, or even with your own personal relationships. We are all brothers and sisters in a community that not everyone will understand. Family and friends that you left back home will not fully comprehend what you've been through, what you do, why you do it, or even why you might not be able to make it back for every holiday or special event. But everyone who has been through this process in the past, or will go through it in the future, does. Always stay in touch with your family and friends. Answer their questions about your experiences. They want to know about you. Don't be boastful, be proud and humble. Answer their questions and always be available. I have 2 points of advice I like to focus on today. Number 1 is when you depart Fort Novosel for your first assignment, you will begin your individual and collective training in your respective airframes. This is called readiness level progression or oral progression. It's where you learn the specifics of your unit and its mission tasks. While waiting on that to occur, you may get tasked with additional duties. Some of the lieutenants in this group will be sent to battalion to become the assistant to the assistant S3. There you'll master the art of PowerPoint and plan con-ops from everything from actual missions to a family day event. Some warrant officers will experience the sheer thrill of stocking the company refrigerator full of your unit's favorite snacks and drinks. Regardless of what you are tasked to do, own it. It's a measure of your dedication and a rite of passage. But always refresh your academic knowledge and be ready for the next flight. You are the most intelligent and best equipped aviators in the history of Army aviation. Learn your tactics. Continue to foster your understanding of your aircraft. Both could save your life someday. Number two, every career decision is a family decision. For the single ones out there, your future families. They will support you and keep the home fires burning while you are away, so respect their role in your current and future endeavors. When you're at work, be at work. When you're at home, be at home. Husband, wife, father, mother, son, daughter, and everything in between. These are the titles that are most important. At the end of your time in service, you will take all the friendships and experiences that you have gained, but you didn't do it alone. Married or single, everyone has someone in their corner that has supported them along the way. Respect that and give them thanks for being by your side. Professionally, take care of each other. Warrant officers, you are the subject matter experts in your field. Some of you have spent many years in the enlisted ranks prior to going to candidate school. You know how the Army works. Share your knowledge, not just in the aircraft, but be available to take over positions to make your unit better. Never hesitate to mentor your fellow warrant officers that don't have your experience. And don't forget your platoon leaders. They will be your future leaders in the company, battalion, and brigade level. And platoon leaders, take care of your warrant officers. You have a responsibility to be a leader in and out of the aircraft. Strive to make pilot in command during your platoon leader time. Your senior warrant officers are tasked with training you in this regard, and most likely know a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two. In closing, I'd like to leave you with some words from CW5 Greenwood, a former Chief Command Warrant Officer that I had the pleasure to serve with in the 82nd Combat Aviation Brigade. He said, "I had an old CW5 that used to say that we give you 2 bags that we hang around your neck when we give you your wings. One is a luck bag, and one is an experience bag. Your luck bag is as full as your luck bag is. But over your career, you're going to have to pull from that luck bag once in a while to survive. But if you're not putting it in your experience bag, all those events that happen to you, all the things that you witness or learn, one day that luck bag is going to be empty, and you better hope you've been putting it in your experience bag." To our graduates, I'll finish with a phrase you've heard many times through flight school. You have the controls. Judging from the looks of our graduates, those controls are in good hands. 20 plus years from now, one of you will be standing behind this podium, sharing the honor of passing those controls to the next generation of Army aviators. Enjoy the ride and the good company along the way. Welcome to the team. God bless. Godspeed. Fly Army. Above the best.
Thank you, Mr. McLean, for your inspiring remarks. At this point in the ceremony, we honor those graduates who have excelled in the course. Graduates who are within the top 20% of their class receive special recognition as Commandant's List graduates, honor graduates, or distinguished graduates. The distinguished graduate is the title bestowed upon those officers who attain the highest overall scholastic average throughout the entire course of instruction. As the title implies, it is the mark of excellence representing outstanding achievement in academic and flight endeavor. The distinguished graduate receives engraved sterling silver wings provided by the Army Aviation Association of America. At this time, I take pleasure in announcing the distinguished graduates from Class 24-018. Lieutenant Jacob Mitchell, distinguished graduate. First Lieutenant Mitchell is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Warrant Officer Timothy Avery, Jr., distinguished graduate. W1 Avery is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. We will now recognize the remaining top 20%. Lieutenant Wyatt Brockmuller, honor graduate. Second Lieutenant Brockmuller is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Montana National Guard. Lieutenant Shannon Donahue, honor graduate. First Lieutenant Donahue is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Lieutenant Zachary Goodman, honor graduate. Second Lieutenant Goodman is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Ohio National Guard. Warrant Officer Matthew Brown, honor graduate. W1 Brown is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Army Reserve based out of Kentucky. Warrant Officer Robert Lee Gubin, honor graduate. W1 Lee Gubin is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Now we will recognize the remainder of the class in alphabetical order by rank. Lieutenant Tristan Everett. Second Lieutenant Everett is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Arkansas National Guard. Lieutenant Efren Garcia. First Lieutenant Garcia is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Lieutenant Isidoro Galeno. Second Lieutenant Isidoro Galeno is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Georgia National Guard. Captain Kelly Kemp. Captain Kemp is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Louisiana National Guard. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Lieutenant Grace Landers. First Lieutenant Landers is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Lieutenant Joshua Meyer. First Lieutenant Meyer is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Wisconsin National Guard. Lieutenant Adrian Troy Mesalucha. First Lieutenant Mesalucha is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Lieutenant Zachary Muma. First Lieutenant Muma is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Lieutenant Frederick Mutnansky. Second Lieutenant Mutnansky is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Illinois National Guard. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Lieutenant Charles Neville. First Lieutenant Neville is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Kentucky National Guard. Lieutenant Corrine O'Gorman. Second Lieutenant O'Gorman is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Rhode Island National Guard. Lieutenant Sean Olson. Second Lieutenant Olson is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Illinois National Guard. Lieutenant Amanda Radicki. First Lieutenant Radicki is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Lieutenant William Romero. First Lieutenant Romero is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Lieutenant Caitlin Schwarting. First Lieutenant Schwarting is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Lieutenant Paul Sharp. First Lieutenant Sharp is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Lieutenant Forrest Voss. Second Lieutenant Voss is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Alaska National Guard. Lieutenant Cole Wyman. First Lieutenant Wyman is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Warrant Officer Silas Bear. Warrant Officer Bear is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Warrant Officer Joseph Baker. W1 Baker is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Oklahoma National Guard. Warrant Officer Joshua Barfield. W1 Barfield is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Chief Warrant Officer Megan Basenfelder. CW2 Basenfelder is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Warrant Officer Lance Britt. W1 Britt is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Army Reserve based out of North Carolina. Warrant Officer Brian Dickey. W1 Dickey is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Warrant Officer Ryan Dolan. W1 Dolan is an AH-64 Echo pilot with the South Carolina National Guard. Warrant Officer Jordan Ford. W1 Ford is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the New Hampshire National Guard. Warrant Officer Kelly Ugwe. W1 Ugwe is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Warrant Officer Sean Lane. W1 Lane is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Warrant Officer Ryan Long. W1 Long is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Warrant Officer Joshua Marsh. W1 Marsh is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Warrant Officer Brandon Miller. W1 Miller is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Warrant Officer Michael Nizardo. W1 Nizardo is a Connecticut Army National Guard UH-60 Mike pilot. Warrant Officer Stephen Pasonen. W1 Pasonen is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Warrant Officer Matthew Reedy. W1 Reedy is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Nebraska National Guard. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Graduates, please stand. Please join me in a round of applause for the Army's newest aviation warfighters. Would everyone please stand or remain standing for the playing of the Aviation song, Above the Best, and the Army song, The Army Goes Rolling Along. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the graduation ceremony. Thank you for celebrating with us and enjoy the rest of your day. Class leader, please dismiss the class.
Class, dismissed.